Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into the summer 2024 forecast from GavsWeatherVids. So here we go, it's time to bring you our summer forecast. We've been building up to this point over the past 3 months. We've done something like 11 summer updates and 3 seasonal roundups. It's all been building to this moment when we release our summer forecast. And I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video release day was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we're going to be live at 6 PM this evening with our 10 to 14 day, and of course it is a sunny live stream, so we've got to include some long range in that, and that will be coming up for you, as I say, at 6 PM this evening. Please like, share and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Thank you so much to Richard for the amazing summer updates, summer forecast, summer updates and summer forecast gift. Thank you so much, Rich, for the summer 2024 forecast gift. I love it. Very, very summery. Is that Florida? Is that Malibu? Somewhere like that? Miami? I don't know. But thank you so much, my friend, for the summer forecast gear. Thank you so much to Shryan and to Terry, who have also helped with not only this season summer updates, but with this forecast as well. So, hashtag Team Gav, Richard, Shryan, Terry did an amazing job. I shall hand out the thanks at the end of the forecast. So, right, so first thing I've got to do is show you the spreadsheet. Always a lot of anticipation for this to explain our methodology and find out which years have come out as the leading years within our winter updates methodology. So here we go. This is compiled from Terry. Thank you so much, Terry, for compiling this for us. This is showing everything that we've looked at through this season of summer updates and the number of hits but we see year by year. So let's deal with this column first of all. This is the yearly column. All years from 1950 right way down to 2023 are included. And then this is everything we've been looking at through the season of updates. So we've got solar matches just here. We've got top 10 mild and warm Febs just there, for example. I won't go for everything. You know what we've been looking at through the season of updates. We've got the QBO. So sorry, just there. We've got Richard's outside the box presentation just there. We've got Enso just here, and then we've got warm and wet springs just there, and more included as well. As I say, you know what we've been looking at through this season of updates. And then just here we have the number of hits that each year has with the methodology. So for example, let's deal with 1950 first of all. That just has 2 hits. It came out as one of the years for the top 10 wet Februaries, and it came out as part of Richard's outside the box presentation, and that, as I say, gave us just 2 hits. That's not enough to be included within the forecast methodology, and so that one gets discarded. With 3 hits, we've got 1951 just here. Again, that came out for top 10 wet Februaries. It also came out for top 10 wet Marches, and it came out for top 10 wet Springs. Very wet year, 1951, 3 hits. But again, that's not enough to be included either. Now, we have our first year that is a much better year just here with 4 hits, 1959. And let's see what that came out for. So with 1959, we get a hit for transitioning from east to west QBO. It features in Richard's outside the box. It also features just here, which I think is warm Aprils. Yep, that's right, just there. Features for warm Aprils, and also features for the top 10 warmest springs with 4 hits. That is included. 1959 is included within our summer forecast. You're going to see that in a moment. Some years don't get a hit though. So for example, with no hits throughout the entire season of updates, we have got this year, which I think is 1953. Check that one out. No hits. That definitely doesn't get included. Oh, sorry everybody, and 1966 is another pretty decent year just here. That has 1, 2, 3 and 4 hits, and again you'll be seeing that in a moment when we start going through the analog. So we come all the way down to 2023. Some notes there from Terry about the solar matches. So we get to 2023. We still actually have 3 hits. It almost got included, but not quite. As a hit there, a hit there, and a hit there. So last year's almost included, but not quite. Check out 2022, though, the year before. That has 5 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That one definitely included within our forecast methodology. So that is the way that we work out which years, you know, have come out on top and which years are the most relevant years in terms of our methodology to 2024. Thank you so much to Terry for compiling the spreadsheet there. Thank you so much, Terry. Right, so this is it then. This is the roll call. Shrine did this little table for us. So with 4 hits, these are the analog years that will be included in our summer forecast. We've got 2020 with 4 hits. We've got 2019 with 4 hits. We've got 2018 with 4 hits. We've got 2007 with 4 hits. We've got 2001 with 4 hits. We've got 1997 with 4 hits. We've got 1995 with 4 hits. We've got 1979 with 4 hits. We've got 1966 with 4 hits, and we've got 1959 with 4 hits. Lots of years with 4 hits. And then with 4.5 hits, we've got 2014. Just here with 5 hits, we've got 1990, and we've also got 2022. And the leading analog year, I can tell you, is 1998. Just here, that one had 6 hits, and 1998 comes out as the leading analog year within the GavsWeatherVids forecast methodology. Thank you so much for trying for the table. Right, so let's start going through the analogues then. Interesting this, isn't it? Interesting. On face value, you'll notice there's a lot of contrasting summers there. Some pretty mixed. Exceptionally wet 2007, but we have also got 2022, we've got 1990, 1995, we've got some pretty hot summers included as well, so it's going to be very interesting, isn't it? Let's start going through the analogues then. Right, okay, thanks to Richard, Ryan, and also Terry. Right, let's start going through the analogues. Here we go, Ben. So this, with 4 hits, is how the summer of 1959 looks. High pressure dominating across much of northern and western Europe. It's a dry and hot summer, or very warm summer anyway. It's a very long summer, starts in the spring, goes all the way on into the autumn. Very different summer for 1966 with 4 hits again. We have a summer of 1966. This is a much cooler and much more unsettled and wetter summer with winds in from the north a lot of the time. We've got 1979 showing up with 4 hits. This is quite a cool and unsettled summer as well. High pressure out in the Atlantic, low pressure to the north, winds in from westerly direction. That's a rather cool and Atlantic-driven summer. Now, then we've got our first hot summer. It's 1995 with 4 hits, high pressure, sitting right over top of the UK and Ireland. That is a long, hot, dry, drought summer. It gets going in the 3rd week of June, and it doesn't let up until the last week of August. And it is actually a slightly drier summer than 1976, the daddy of summers. And by the way, we haven't seen 76 at all, have we? Throughout this entire season. So that's a bit disappointing. But anyway, no, 1995, a little bit less hot than 76, but is a drier summer than 1976. It's a cracker of a summer, and it is included in our forecast methodology with 4 hits there. We've got 1997, another hot summer. This one with high pressure over Scandinavia, and let's change the colour. Low pressure to the south, and winds coming in from an easterly direction. So that has a very hot August, also quite a wet summer as well, particularly wet in June. August is also quite a wet month, despite being very hot, lots of thunderstorms. And then we've got 2001. This is a relatively mixed and warm summer with plenty of low pressure in the North Atlantic, winds in from the Atlantic. There's regular sort of little heat waves coming and going through this summer, but often quite unsettled. Bit of everything, but I would say a warm and mixed summer there for 2001. We got the deluge of 2007. Oh dear, with 4 hits again. Low pressure across the north of Western Europe and high pressure is in the Atlantic. If you want something that's in complete contrast to 1995, it would be 2007. So flooding rains in June and July. August is a little bit better, but that's not saying much. It is a disaster. The summer, quite a big gap then to 2018. Our next summer with 4 hits is the hot summer of 2018. High pressure ridging in from the Atlantic into northern and also western parts of Europe. Low pressure pinged in up there towards Greenland. That's very hot in June and July. Does wobble a bit in August. The peak of the summer in July 2018. Very, very hot month. Then we've got 2019, so this has a bit of everything, but does have a really dramatic heat spike in July 2019. High pressure to the east, low pressure is out to west, winds coming up from the south. We get 39 degrees, I think, in July 2019. And overall, but a couple of days later, it's pouring with rain. It's really quite cool. So it's one of those summers, a little bit of everything, very contrasting, but overall is a very, very warm summer. We've got 2020, again, bit of everything included with this one, again, with 4 hits. No, the analog doesn't tell you a great deal, so it does have some really warm weather, has some quite hot weather. It also has some cool and wet weather, some stormy weather, windy weather later on in August as well. A couple of named storms, quite unusual for August. So, yeah, bit of everything in the summer of 2020. Overall warm and mixed. And then with 4.5 hits, we've got 2014. And this one has low pressure to our south and high pressure is away to the north, and winds are coming in from the east. Has a very warm July in 2014, but a cool August, coolest August since 1993 after 17 Celsius CT. July, very bizarre summer, that one. And then with 5 hits, we've got 1990. Check this out. Low pressure way to the north, high pressure to the south, and also to the northeast. So it starts off cool and wet in June 1990, but July picks up dramatically. And by the time we get to the end of July and August, we're in a ferocious heat wave, having 18 Celsius CT August in 1990, and reached 37 degrees at Cheltenham for the first time in recorded history. Also with 5 hits, we've got 2022. Quite a few hot summers, you'll notice, included in this. Maybe what if people are a little bit surprised? Possibly they will be. We'll see. So 2022, of course, long hot summer. 18 Celsius CT July, 18 Celsius CT August for the first time since 2003. Had to wait 19 years for an 18 Celsius CT August, and it happened 2022. Also, we get to 40 degrees for the first time in recorded history in July 2022. It's a cracker of a long, hot summer, and it is in the forecast there with 5 hits. And then finally, with 6 hits, the leading analog yearboat, in complete contrast to those two, is 1998. And this one again, with low pressure away to the east, high pressure out in the Atlantic, winds in from a northwesterly direction. Has a wet June, and then the rest of the summer, July and August, relatively dry-ish. But also quite cool. So a cool, dry sort of July and August after a wet June. Okay, so shall we start putting all of that together then? This is how all Junes combined are looking, with the year scoring 4 or more in our forecast methodology. So this is all years included, right way from 1959 all the way down to 2022 and all the years in between. And all Junes combined show that we have higher pressure away to the north and lower pressure to the south. So it looks quite unsettled for June. And the wettest weather would actually be in the south with this. The driest weather would be in the north. Probably quite warmish. Winds in from the east, I would think, quite a bit of the time, which is relatively warm wind direction. But very much sort of drier to the north and wetter down to the south. All Julys combined for the years scoring 4 or more, basically all years, has high pressure then ridging in from the Atlantic. The low pressure gets pushed over towards central eastern parts of Europe. And that kind of leaves us bringing in the wind from off Atlantic. So a drier but cooler signal maybe as we get into the Julys, with winds reverting round into more of a westerly direction. And then August possibly going a bit anticyclonic. So higher pressure then from the Atlantic into western parts of Europe. That could be quite a dry and warmish signal for those August for the years, but are scoring 4 or more basically all years. And summer overall, all summers combined, for years scoring 4 or more, all years, has high pressure to our west and also to our northeast. A little bit easier, that's mostly down to what's happening in June. But it's rather an anticyclonic signal there. I would suggest, you know, at very least quite a dry and warm summer after that wet start, certainly down in the south. So the temperature forecast for the summer for years scoring 4 or more, all years, is above average. A warmer than average summer is being predicted there. What about rainfall? Well, that shows no signal. So for rainfall for all the years, we see sort of average or no signal. It does look wetter to our south. Again, I think that's primarily down to what's happening in the June, but also Eastern Europe gets quite a wet summer, and it's a bit drier out in the Atlantic as well. Right, let's narrow things down though. These are the years that are scoring 5 or more. So now we've narrowed this down to the top 3. It's 2022, 1990, and it's 1998. All Junes combined for the years that are scoring 5 or more, looking very unsettled. A trough of low pressure is across Western Europe. It's going to be a bit of a shocker, I think, when most people have been expecting like a front-loaded signal. That's certainly what I was expecting, you know, a front-loaded signal within the forecast methodology, but not the case, actually. Actually, that looks really unsettled and quite cool, potentially, for June. All Julys combined for the 3 years scoring 5 or more shows high pressure ridging up from the Azores, so a drying and warming signal. And then all August combined actually shifts towards an anticyclonic signal here, with potentially August coming out as the driest and the warmest one. A little bit westerly based, that would be particularly down to 1998, I think. But overall, you know, it is an increasing anticyclonic signal there, suggesting maybe a backloaded summer. That's going to be a surprise to a lot of people, I think. In terms of the summer overall, for all years scoring 5 or more, we see low pressure up to the north, high pressure is down to the south and to the southwest, and winds coming in from a westerly direction. Bear in mind, June, very much towards low pressure, unsettled conditions, and then we transition to higher pressure as the summer goes along. The temperature anomaly is generally looking warmer than average for these 5 years across western parts of Europe. Coolest temperature anomalies toward the north and the northeast. If we just had 2022 and 1990, it would come out as quite a hot signal, but of course we've got 1998 tempering things a little bit. But overall, I think still signalling above average temperatures across Western Europe for this summer, and also a rather drier summer is being suggested there as well, which again I think is going to be quite a surprise to most people. And then lastly, just to look at 1998, as it is the leading analogue year, and then once that's done I will pause the video and then I'll give you the forecast. So this is how June, but just have a quick look at 1998 as the leading year. So 1998 in June looks like that. Unsettled June, quite a wet June as well. Temperatures about average. July looks like it should be an absolute washout. It wasn't actually, but worse and below pressures away to the east in July, with higher pressure out in the Atlantic. We do bring in the wind from like a northwesterly or a northerly direction, so it's quite a coolish month, but not overly wet, except perhaps in the north and in the northeast. And then August of 1998 strengthens high pressure to the southwest and brings the wind in from off the Atlantic, so quite a dry, but again relatively cool and cloudy month in August. The wettest is June, and then July and August are drier, but also quite cool. And just a reminder of the analogue for the summer of 1998, with low pressure away to the east and high pressure is in the Atlantic, which leads to bringing a wind from northwest, so quite a cool wind direction, not overly wet except in June. The temperature anomaly for this summer is below average. It is a cooler than average summer in 1998, and the precipitation anomaly looks a little bit wetter. I remember it as being drier than that, but there we go. It's suggesting a slightly above average rainfall, particularly so to the north, which is probably fine for the north actually, but down in the south, I remember it, particularly July and August anyway, being rather drier. But it was a very wet June with over 100 millimetres here locally in Northants. Right, so that's gone through all of that. We've looked at the spreadsheet, we've established which years are leading for our methodology, and we've gone through the analogues. The only thing that remains now is to deliver our forecast for you. I'll pause the video very quickly, get rid of all of those tabs, and then when we come back, I shall deliver what is proving to be another pretty complicated forecast with so many contrasting years. But I will attempt to deliver the GavsWeatherVids Summer 2024 forecast for you in about 2 seconds. I'll see you then. Okay, we're back and we're ready to deliver Summer 2024 forecast. Wow. Thank you so much, Richard, for our summer updates gift. I love it, Rich. Thank you so much, my friend. Right, so we've gone through the years there. Very contrasting years, and I think quite a surprise for a lot of people. Most people, I think, were expecting that the methodology would be suggesting a front-loaded summer, i.e. high pressure and warmer, drier weather in June, and then transitioning to something cooler and wetter as the summer progresses, most notably so in August. If anything, we probably have inverted that, with June maybe having the strongest signals be more unsettled, and August possibly having the strongest signals be more anticyclonic. With this, I think so. I'll get onto that in a moment, though, the overall pattern. But I think overall we do see a quite strong signal here for a warmer than average summer. So the first thing to get on the table is that we're going to be forecasting above average temperatures. No surprises there. I don't think, given the warmth that's been going on over the past few months and couple of years and whatnot. So yeah, we're going to go for above average temperatures for this summer, probably about a degree, maybe 1.5 degrees above the 91 to 2020 average. I think there will be some heat spikes probably mixed in with this summer. Maybe not as many as other summers. It won't be as hot as 2022, I doubt. But I think we probably do get a couple of heat spikes at some point, or lifting the temperature as well into the 30s Celsius. But also a mixed summer, and especially so early on, is what I'm anticipating. So I reckon June will probably be quite an unsettled month, maybe with rather above average rainfall, in complete contrast to the June that we have last year. July may also be quite a mixed month as well, although within the forecast methodology, July is like an improving month generally that we see there. But I'm a little bit dubious about July. I think June and July could both be quite unsettled, and then maybe we go into something a little bit drier and warmer when we get into August. If we was to have quite a noteworthy heat spike, I would imagine it will happen sort of a little bit later on in the summer, possibly late July, maybe into August as well. I doubt we'll have an 18 Celsius CT August again, as we only have one in 2022, but I reckon August could be quite a warm month potentially, albeit still a little bit mixed. I don't think we completely break out of the unsettled pattern that we have for June and even into July as well. I think that will come back at times, even into August. But if there was a month that's going to settle and bring drier and warmer weather, I've got a feeling it might be August. So overall, we're going for a mixed summer. Rather unsettled from beginning to end, but the most unsettled conditions happening the first half of the summer, and then probably going to something a little bit drier later on in the summer. And also above average temperatures, quite a warm summer being predicted, despite the overall unsettled sort of flavour to the summer. A couple of heat spikes in there. They happen probably a little bit later on. As far as rainfall is concerned, it's quite difficult to predict. I think we probably have quite a wet first half of the summer, and then we may start transitioning into a drier second half. So possibly we come out with near normal rainfall. But I would be guessing maybe a bit above average in the end. That wet start could be really quite wet, and even if we do go into something a little bit drier later, that may not be enough to offset, you know, an overall wetter than average season. So I imagine rainfall could be a little bit above average, but also with above average temperatures. So a classic sort of mixed summer, but also quite warm summer is what I'm anticipating. Thunderstorms, I would guess they're most likely in the first half of the summer, but then again, if it warms up in the second half of summer, we start getting those heat spikes going, they might carry the storms over into the second half of the summer as well. But I would think the thunderstorms are probably more likely early on in the summer, along with, you know, potential some quite heavy rain. If there was to be a month that's cooler than average, that could be in June. You know, if we do set up like a trough with a blocking area of high pressure, then we could go into quite a cold or quite cool and wet pattern. So the most likely month to be cooler than average, I would think, is June. But overall, we're going for above average temperatures for this summer. Quite a warm, but also rather wet and mixed summer. Starting unsettled, getting drier later. What a shocker, isn't it? I bet a lot of people wasn't expecting that. So there we go. Just goes to show you, sometimes as we go through these updates, you know, we don't know how the data is going to turn up when we get to the end. So people do ask me along the journey, particularly in my live streams, you know, what I think is going to happen, say halfway through the season of updates. And I try to give a bit of a guess, but I never know for sure until I get to see what the leading years are and how the data looks. You know, that's what we have to base things upon. And yeah, so the idea, like a front-loaded summer, hot June, cool, wet August, went out the window when we saw the data and was a little bit taken aback by it. But you can only go where the data takes you, and so we shall see how it goes. Obviously, again, there's a lot of contrasting years in there. And so the forecast is with quite low confidence as well. So we shall see when we get to the beginning of September. We shall evaluate, see how we did. Hopefully, we'll have got some of the pointers right, even if it's not, you know, 100% accuracy. That's as much as we can do for you. I hope you found the forecast interesting. Thank you so much to Richard, as I say, for our amazing summer forecast gear. Thank you so much to Terry and to Shryan as well. Hashtag Team Gav. Always doing an amazing job for me and, you know, for us and for GavsWeatherVids. So thank you so much to the wonderful Team Gav for all the help, not only with the forecast, but with the updates as well. And that's where we're going to leave it. So I'll be live at 6 p.m. We'll be able to discuss this summer forecast. If you're a little bit shocked by the forecast, then you'll be able to let me know on the live stream. And yeah, we will also, of course, be live streaming our 10 to 14 day, and we'll include some long range as it is a Sunday live stream. So we have to do that, don't we? Thank you so much, everybody, for not only sticking with the forecast, but for sticking with this season of the summer updates. I think been quite interesting season of updates. Hope you enjoyed them. We will be going on to autumn updates next. I might take next week off from the long range. It's been quite a long season summer update, so I might have next week off from the long range, and then we might do update number 1 for the autumn in a couple of weeks' time. But I'll let everybody know on the socials and whatnot. Right, okay, we'll end it there for the GavsWeatherVids Summer 2024 forecast. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again a little bit later on with our live stream. But for this one, that's it. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.